of the greatest threats the Republic has ever known, in 2 minutes to appoint one to investigate a filing error where there is no criminal intent. So there's only one thing to do when that happens, isn't there, Travis?
That is correct.
I don't know what to think until he tells me what to think. Help me, Glenn Kirschner.
You're my only hope.
Hello, Steph. Say, hey, nobody tells baby what to think. I'm pretty sure of that.
Put baby in the corner and tell baby what's going on. Honestly, go ahead.
So here's the thing. At the end of the day, this is going to end up being a good thing, and I'm not being Pollyanna about it. And here's why. First of all, let's lay to rest the complaint that it took 2 years, a year and a half, to get a special counsel appointed for Donald Trump's crimes, and 2 minutes to get special counsel appointed to look at the documents that Joe Biden had that admittedly he shouldn't have. The reason Merrick Garland appointed Jack Smith when he did was because Donald Trump announced that he was running for president. That made him Merrick Garland's boss's, Joe Biden, only declared opponent in the upcoming presidential election. That's a conflict. Merrick Garland at that point had to appoint special counsel.
Yeah.
He could have done it earlier, but he didn't have to. Now, once Merrick Garland asked the U.S. attorney in Chicago, right, John Loesch, to do me a favor, take a quick look at this, just do a quick review of the Biden documents thing, and let me know if you think there should be an investigation. And that U.S. attorney came back and said, you know what, it should probably be investigated, and you should probably appoint a special counsel. Steph, at that moment, the deal was sealed, and Merrick Garland couldn't reject the very advice and opinion he sought. So, yeah, it looks kind of funky that one took 2 years and one took 2 minutes. It actually was done the right way under the special counsel statute.
But here's my biggest question, though. Doesn't the DOJ regulation say there has to be, what's the word? I mean, evidence of criminality or suspicion of criminality. Because I know with our friend Harry Littman said Merrick Garland's decision to appoint a special counsel is being generally praised. As many people saying he had no choice, like you just said. But he says, blah, 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 blah. His reputation has always been as a straight shooter. But in his appointments of both Jack Smith and Robert Turr, the problem, however, is the letter of the regulation not only doesn't dictate the appointment, but arguably even precludes it. That's because it requires Garland to find that a criminal investigation is warranted, and there is zero information from what we know to suggest to anybody, much less Biden, acted with criminal intent.
Steph, not that a crime has been committed, but that an investigation is warranted. Can you imagine if Merrick Garland said, I've looked into it, my boss did nothing wrong, end of story, shut up and go away.
Yeah.
Can you imagine the outcry? And here's the thing, there would be an outcry on the right, which nobody listens to because they're going to complain regardless of what Merrick Garland does, but there would be an outcry on the left from people who really do care about not only conflict, but the appearance of conflict, because we still care about the legitimacy of DOJ.
Right. Well, right. So I did not watch all of them. I don't know if you were on Nicole yesterday. I know you were all over.
I was. Well, yeah, we had a great debate, including I was, going back and forth with Harry. I didn't agree with everything he was saying, though I respect and admire.
But I didn't see this part. I wanted to get your take. Nicole Wallace called out Garland for fearing the Republican Congress, slow-rolling the 1-6 investigation, and only speeding it up after Cassidy Hutchinson's testimony. Garland supporters will deny it, but the expanse of Jack Smith's new subpoenas suggests they should have happened sooner. So what was can you give us the meat of that discussion you had with Nicole?
Yeah, the meat of that was Nicole. I said, listen, Nicole, in my opinion, we needed an attorney general who was sprinting to the finish line to try to save our democracy. And she asked me, well, what kind of a pace do you think he has set? I said, you know what? It has been a long, slow, leisurely walk by Merrick Garland. And that unfortunately worked to the detriment of our democracy. And part of what I base that on is not just our frustration, Steph, that justice has been too darn long coming for Donald Trump, but once Jack Smith was appointed, November 18th, the man has been going 1,000 miles an hour, scorched earth. He just issued subpoenas in early December. I was on with Carol Leonnig as well, and it's her great reporting. He issued subpoenas in early December that asked for more than 24 categories of evidence that we all kind of know is incriminating. And Steph, those are subpoenas that were never issued by Merrick Garland for the 18 months he was overseeing this investigation.
Yeah.
After this dark chapter in American history is all said and done, and Trump and company are in orange jumpsuits, we're going to need to do an autopsy on why the Department of Justice failed to meet the moment, why it slow walked the Trump investigation, and that's something that we're going to need to learn from.
Well, and also, I certainly hope that there's what's the word? Some speed in justice in the Biden special counsel, because you and I both know, or fairly certain they're going to find nothing. But let's hope that doesn't take 2 years, so that for 2 years they can scream, both sides do it, because as you said on Twitter, this is night and day. These two cases, which is why at first I was like, okay, fine, so good. This will make it easier for Jack Smith to charge, because you will see the stark differences. But what do you think about that in terms of the pace of this new investigation?
I agree with you. This new special counsel, Robert Hur, had better move at light speed. We can't conclude that there's no there, but every single sign, every indication is there is no there. Because these things have some very superficial similarities. Two men had documents that they shouldn't have had. That's where the similarities end. Because, Joe Biden, once he realized it, he told the National Archives, he told the Department of Justice, he conducted a search of every location where other documents could be. They found some, they turned them over. End of story. Donald Trump did the exact opposite. I won't go through the litany of what Donald Trump did, but here's one of the important distinctions, Steph, that I haven't heard people talk about enough. Whereas Joe Biden's team conducted a sweeping search, including of Joe Biden's garage, right? Found a few more documents and turned them over. Do you know Donald Trump is still in court right now, and federal prosecutors are demanding that he certify that he has given back all the dang documents he took, and he won't even do it now.
Yeah.
All this time later.
Yeah.
Talk about a stark difference in the way these two men handled the documents issues.